What is happening, y'all? Thank you for joining the channel again. It's been a while. Life's just been a little crazy, but I thought I'd give you guys an update by doing a top dislikes and likes video for my 5th gen 4Runner. For those of you that don't know, this is a 2024 TRD Off-Road Premium 5th gen 4Runner, and if you're interested in 5th gen 4Runner content, please consider subscribing. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead and get into today's video. And again, a lot of these dislikes per se are more quirks and annoyances, like minor ones. As you guys know from my review of this vehicle, I absolutely love this truck. And so a lot of this is kind of nitpicking, but again, maybe you know a lot about these little quirks and annoyances. Maybe you don't, and same with the likes, but let's go ahead and get into it. First one is going to be the brake boosting noise. I'm going to open my door so you guys can see a little bit better down here, but when you press down on the brake, you get a almost buzzing sound, and it's from the brake booster doing its thing. It's not really an annoyance unless you hyper focus on it. I've had the truck now for a couple of months, 3 months, over 4,000 miles, and I've learned to just tune it out, or I'll have music on or the windows down. Honestly, it's not a big deal, or my kids will be screaming, so that takes care of that. But it is something that I noticed when I first got the vehicle that I thought was a quirk that was interesting and a little bit annoying to begin with, but again, I've kind of tuned it out, but just wanted to highlight it for you. Second thing that is a dislike, quote unquote, is going to be these door handles. Now, I really appreciate the material because it's metal and it's going to outlive you and me and anybody you know. And they're super robust and they'll never break. However, they don't really match anything else in the interior outside of this little bevel here for the start stop button. It just doesn't really tie in with the aesthetic. You have like this shiny plastic here, faux carbon fiber, soft tex, you know, on the sides and everything. But then here they give you these metal handles, so it doesn't really fit the aesthetic of the interior because there's no other chrome. But they're also, the quirk about these is that if the sun hits them in the right angle, it'll completely just get in your eyes and kind of blind you. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, you definitely notice it. So again, something that I wanted to mention for you guys. Another quirk or quote unquote annoyance is going to be these sun visors. So they're really thick, which speaks to how well made this interior is and just the material choices in general. And you can tell this is high quality, but it's really thick. It's super thick, and so if you don't have the home link buttons, which I do on this off-road premium, and you want to put your classic garage door clicker here, you're going to have a hard time having it stay on. If you flip down the visor, it'll fall off, and so it is kind of an annoyance and something that I wanted to point out for you guys. The next annoyance I want to talk about is the nosedive on this vehicle. Again, it's not a deal breaker. It's definitely something that you have to learn how to manage. And if you're not used to it or you're not expecting it and you're getting into this truck for the first time, you're definitely going to feel it when you're braking. After a while, you learn how to manage your brake. And, you know, for me, I don't notice it as much anymore. Honestly, when I'm towing, it actually helps a tremendous amount having weight in the back, obviously, because it levels the vehicle out, and under braking it doesn't nosedive that much. And so I do plan to upgrade the suspension at some point. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but again, it is a little bit of a quote unquote dislike. It's a bit of an annoyance, but again, the more you own the truck, the more you drive it, you do learn how to manage it, and it's almost a non-issue, at least for me. And this is my biggest annoyance. I'm going to talk about this now, is the Android Auto, not necessarily how it operates or the functionality of it, anything like that. It's more so when I'm trying to use YouTube. So like if I'm listening to a podcast on my phone, or if I want to play a video and just listen to the commentary, if I turn up the volume, like right now I don't have anything playing and I don't want to get copyrighted, but if I turn up the volume, it'll default play whatever I have going on here. So let's just show you. Let's show you guys. So let's just go to quick picks. Sure, ball and a biscuit. whatever's playing. Don't care. Okay. So, as you see, when I turn the volume, it turns on whatever's playing. That happens when either you're, playing a video on YouTube or listening to a podcast. If you turn up or down this volume knob, it will default to that and it will cut out your video. And then you have to go back into your phone and then replay it. That's probably my biggest quirk, guys. And honestly, again, kind of nitpicking. What I've done now is I preemptively just turn up the music, and that just helps mitigate that, and I don't have to worry about it. But again, just something to share with you guys in case you didn't know or wanted just to know what some of the quirks are on this vehicle. And then lastly, the biggest quirk or dislike for me is the suspension. And not that the suspension is bad. I actually think that the suspension on this is quite good. Factory, it rides well on the day-to-day. I've taken the vehicle off-road, and it does and handles everything just fine. Obviously, it's not as good as the Fox shocks that come on the TRD Pro. And I just wish that on a TRD model that for the 4Runner that Toyota would have offered something like the Bilsteins that come on the 3rd gen Tacoma. And again, for the price point, you would expect a little bit better shocks, but again, it's not a deal breaker. And honestly, I will probably upgrade to something better that they could have included, with a TRD model. So I'll probably end up getting like 5100 Bilsteins just for the leveling aspect of it, and also to help mitigate with some of the nosedive. But again, definitely wanted to mention the suspension. All right. Now let's talk about the likes, and there's a lot to like about, but I'll try to limit it to 5 things. So let's go on the outside of the truck. All right, guys, so biggest thing, and one of my biggest likes, is obviously the way that this thing looks. I think for a vehicle that hasn't been refreshed aesthetically in 10 years, and I think, this particular variation is from 2010, it's 14 years. I think that this has aged really, really well, and as you guys know from my previous videos, I think it's a timeless design that will continue to look good, 10, 20 years from now. I think they knocked it out of the park with the styling on this. I think it looks really good, and in my personal opinion, I think that this underground color is the best, one of the best colors that Toyota has come out with for the 4Runner, especially in the gray. And I'm a big fan of gray vehicles, and I think that this is the best shade of gray that they have. I like it more than way better than magnetic gray. I like it better than lunar rock, and I like it better than cement. I think it is the coolest shade of gray that they've come out with. It changes color depending on the light a little bit. When it's really dark, it almost looks black. At dusk or sunset, it kind of looks almost like a dark purple, which I think is pretty rad. But again, just love the design. It's timeless, and I think it's aged super well and will continue to do so. Let's go back in the truck because it's hot. Yeah, another thing I really like about this vehicle is just how minimal the tech features are. So this particular truck, it's a 2024, so it's got the latest version, not the latest version of Safety Sense, but it has, it's the most updated that it's been in its history, and it's Toyota Sense 2.0, which in my opinion is like the perfect sweet spot of safety features. You get blind spot monitoring, you get cross traffic alert when you're backing up. It doesn't slam the brakes on, and same with you get pre-collision warning, and it's just a warning. It doesn't slam on your brakes, and you get adaptive cruise control, and that's it. It's awesome. It doesn't have a super intrusive system like the newer offerings from Toyota or any other manufacturer for that matter. It gives you everything you need and nothing you don't, and I really appreciate the simplistic, minimalist safety tech that's in this truck. It doesn't cut power when you're off-road. You can turn off traction control, no problem. It doesn't yell at you. There's not sonar everywhere, so off-roading, it's a pleasant experience. It's not yelling at you every 2 minutes. I absolutely love the amount of technology that it has because it's not super invasive and intrusive, and thank you for that, Toyota. Next thing I really love, let's go to the back of the truck, is the cargo space on this truck. So So you guys know I had a full-size truck before this, the 3rd gen Tundra, and that has plenty of room. Obviously, I had a tonneau cover, tons of room. So coming to this vehicle, I was really concerned about just space in the back, because we do like to go camping quite a bit, and I ride my bikes a lot. And so this past weekend for Labor Day, we went down to the coast and we jam-packed this thing. And you know, the space looks huge on camera, and it is a pretty stout, you know, large space. But when you start filling it up, you kind of get, well, I was starting to get worried that I was gonna run out of room. But everything fit in here. I have a huge Yeti, the 65 liter. We fit, you know, 3 to 4 duffel bags / suitcases in here. We had beach toys. We had a bunch of fishing pole in here. We had a bunch of crap in here, and it all fit perfectly. It was all easy to kind of adjust, and I never, you know, covered up the rear glass. I could see right out. The visibility was great, and because this is taller, you know, it's not like on a Subaru Outback like my wife has, where if you start to pack things, you're going to absolutely cover the back. Like, we had stuff packed up to the seats there, and I still had all the visibility in the world in the back. So that's been awesome. And then this cargo net, I think I mentioned it in one of my videos, but it really is something so simple, but it's so useful, and I really like it. You know, like I said, I ride my bikes, you know, 3-4 times a week, and here I can throw my gloves, I can throw my helmet, anything wet, a towel, anything that I don't want rolling around or, like, you know, harder to reach, because I do have my one-up rack here. I can just put in this net, and it's just easy to get to. And again, really awesome how they've just made this system work. You know, just tethers down there and here. Absolutely love it. And in the same vein, in cargo, just the ergonomics and ease of use of folding down these seats. You know, with one hand, this thing's super easy. It's 1, 2, 3, we're down, and it's all flat. You can know if you're car camping or you're wanting to put more stuff in here, this is super intuitive and easy to use. You're not battling it. You know, it's not like the 6th gen 4Runner that's coming out, or the new Land Cruiser, where it's this tumble system that's super poorly designed, in my opinion. It doesn't lay flat. There's a huge gap in there. You have the huge battery pack in the back. It's just overly complicated, and this is just simple, easy to use. You can do it with one hand. You know, it feels good. It's easy to use. Oh, let's flip this up. But I really like this. You know, having kids and moving things in and out of the truck, super easy. I absolutely love it. One of my favorite features is just like the easy use of the seat folding and cargo space. And then finally, guys, my favorite feature of this truck is that it does feel like a truck. You know, this is a truck / SUV, but it's not like anything else out on the market in terms of this being a body on frame truck SUV. You know, it has character to it. It drives like a truck, and I love this thing for it. If you're looking for an SUV experience that's going to be more refined, more in line with a unibody construction, you know, this isn't the vehicle for you. I absolutely love how this drives. It has that truck feel. It feels like I could, you know, drive in any condition, drive through anything, and I know that it's going to keep me safe. I know that it's going to be reliable. And again, I just really love the truck feel of this. It feels robust, and it feels like it has character. I love how the steering feels, and I absolutely just love the truckiness of this SUV / truck. And that's probably my biggest like about this thing. But yeah, guys, overall, super enjoying my 2024 4Runner. If you have any questions or comments, please post them down below. And I think for my next video, I'm going to do a comparison between this and the Land Cruiser. So stay tuned for that, the new Land Cruiser. I've been reading a lot of people looking to upgrade from a 5th gen 4Runner to a Land Cruiser, and I have some interesting takes on that, and I've done some pretty interesting research and digging on it. But anyway, that'll be for next time. But until then, guys, stay tuned.